Hello, everyone, and welcome. Are you ready to hear a story that's so amazing it sounds like it's straight out of a movie? It's a true story about a girl who danced her way from the streets all the way to becoming a superstar, a movie star, and get this, a secret hero. You're not going to believe it. So let's get ready, because this is that story. And listen closely, because this isn't just any old story. No way. This one has a secret. A really, really big secret. It's so incredible, you just have to hear it to believe it. So, do you want to know the secret? Okay, get ready for this. It's a story about a dancer who was also a spy. Can you believe that? A real-life secret agent? Her name was Josephine Baker, and her adventure is one of the most amazing you'll ever hear. All right, let's dive in. So, let's start at the very beginning. Our story begins in a place called St. Louis, and there lived a little girl named Josephine. And you know what? From the moment she was tiny, Josephine just knew she was born to dance. Her feet were always moving, always tapping. Now, Josephine's family didn't have a lot of money, but oh, she was rich in other ways. She had these amazing gifts. First, 2 legs that were just made for dancing. Then she had this dazzling smile that could light up a whole room. And best of all, she had a free spirit, which means nobody could ever tell her she couldn't follow her dreams. But you know, the world back then had some very unfair rules. Where Josephine lived, people were treated differently just because of the color of their skin. Because Josephine was a black girl, she wasn't allowed to do the same things or go to the same places as white children. It was like a big invisible wall was built right in front of her dreams. But did Josephine let that stop her? No way! She was a fighter. She took her sparkle and danced right on the streets. She made funny faces and did the coolest moves for everyone to see. And pretty soon, her talent was so big, she moved from the sidewalk to a real theater stage. And then, she made it all the way to the biggest city, New York City. And oh my goodness, her dancing was something else. It was elastic fantastic. Her legs could stretch and bend and wiggle in ways that just seemed impossible. She was super playful and silly, but also really graceful. It was a style that was totally 100% her, and people just loved it. Okay, so she is a star in New York, but guess what? Her adventure was about to get even bigger, a lot bigger. She was going to travel across a huge ocean to a brand new city, Paris. And this is where her story really takes off. You see, Josephine felt that with those unfair rules back home, she could only go so far. So when someone saw her dance and asked her to be in a show all the way in Paris, she said yes. She jumped at the chance. It was a super brave thing to do, leaving everything behind for a new adventure. And in Paris, wow, for the very first time in her life, Josephine felt truly free. It was a place where people loved her for her amazing talent, not the color of her skin. She could go anywhere she wanted, live wherever she wanted. It was like a bird being let out of a cage to fly. She was free. And Paris absolutely fell in love with her. People who watched her dance were just amazed. They had never seen anyone like her before. All that energy, all that style. She wasn't just in the show, she was the show. And just like that, boom, she became a superstar practically overnight. So now she's a huge star with a big house and an even bigger heart. She filled her home with so many animal friends. She had cats and dogs, birds and fish, even a pig and a goat. But her most famous pet of all, a baby cheetah named Chiquita. Can you imagine a cheetah? How cool is that? So being a superstar dancer was already like a dream come true, right? Well, her story gets even more incredible because Josephine wasn't just a dancer. She was about to become a hero. First, she did something huge. She became the very first black woman to ever be the star of a big movie. Nobody had ever done that before. She was showing everyone that your dreams can come true, no matter who you are. But then something very serious happened. A big war started, World War II. And France, the country that had been so kind to her, was in danger. Josephine loved France, and she knew she had to do something to help. So, what is a spy? Well, a spy is a very brave person who secretly gets information to help their country. And because Josephine was so famous and so brave, she was asked to do this very special, very secret job.
And this is so clever. She became a spy. When she traveled to different places to dance, she would listen for secrets. And then she would write those secrets down on her music sheets using invisible ink. Nobody ever guessed. Her music was holding secret messages.
Wow, she was so brave. The secret messages she passed along were super important and helped a lot. She risked her own safety, not for more fame, but to help the country she loved. She was a true heroine.
So after the war was over, you'd think she'd rest, right? Nope. Josephine had another big dream, maybe her biggest dream of all. She wanted to show the world that everyone, no matter what they looked like, could live together as one big, happy family. And how did she do that? Well, she started her own special family. She adopted 12 children. And these kids came from all over the world, from all different places. 12 children, all one family. Josephine believed that people of all colors could live together, just like one happy family. She called them her rainbow tribe. It was her way of showing the whole world that it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, we can all be one family. And she never forgot about those unfair rules from when she was a little girl. She even marched with the great leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to fight for fairness for everyone. She used her big, famous voice to help make the world a better, fairer place. This is so important. She wanted to prove that love, not color, makes a family. That's what was in her heart. More than anything, she wanted to show that love is what truly connects us all. So from a little girl who just loved to dance, Josephine Baker became a superstar, a hero, and someone who changed the world with her big, big heart. Her story shows us that one person can really make a difference. So now I have a question for you. What is your big dream?